The podcast you have been waiting for.
6 friends, 6 opinions, infinite laughs.
You're watching history in the making.
You don't have to open up your eyes, you can clearly see.
The number one podcast is GCU Week. 20 years of brotherhood. The Q La Familia. Raw, uncut, uncensored, and unfiltered. Bub's opinionated. Why Eddie keep you laughing? Steve will get the tea while Shot tells us all what's happening. Spiritual or natural. I'm here for the thrills. And when it comes to PJ, y'all, please say they real. From quick hits, heavy lifting, the mass to the week. We getting ratings through the roof every time that we speak. PA, GA to the Aspens, turning podcasts into under-table has-been. Sports, entertainment, and current events. Sometimes we get pissed, so the crew got a vent. So when Friday night come, you know just what to do. Sit back, put up your feet, and now rocking with the Q.
Yo, what up? Welcome to another Happy Friday. As you see, we running a skeleton crew. Today it's just right now it's me and PJ rocking out until everybody gets back in. So I'm Shad. Good to see y'all again. Introducing the one and only, the real PJ.
Look, I said at the end of season 2, I wanted to make some changes, get rid of some people. So I have to cut some heads, man.
This is what you meant?
That's what I meant. It's just me and you now.
That's fucking horrible. So we're gonna have some fun. We got a couple little things to get through. We got to start. Let's jump into this Dave Chappelle situation. Pop that there. All right. So as y'all know, because you can comment because your mic's not muted. So as y'all know, Dave Chappelle was tackled by attendee at his comedy show at the Hollywood Bowl this week. Well, it was Friday morning, rather, to be exact. Or no, 20th, my bad. So dude ran on stage. Dave Chappelle finished his act. He was calling up a couple of comedians to come take some pictures with him. Dude ran up on stage, tackled Dave Chappelle. Come to find out, he had a fake gun and a knife. So it became a assault with a deadly weapon. But now they're saying that the police department, after realizing like it was just like some dumb shit, they dropped it down to a misdemeanor so they can get the guy back out. So his name is Isaiah Lee. He pleaded not guilty to the assault charge and then has a $30,000 bail. Dave Chappelle laughed about it afterwards. And, Chris Rock made a comment, was that Will Smith? Even though Rock would say his name. Everybody fell out laughing. So that was funny as hell. But, what do you think about that action? Do you think that after the Oscars that this is something that they need to be more aware of? Because a lot of comedians are saying that this is something that happens more often than we think.
Yeah, I think they didn't take security as serious prior to the whole Will Smith thing. And I think you're going to have security beefed up at every single comedy concert or whatever is going on. I mean, because people take offense to anything that comedians say anyway. Hecklers sometimes want to go beyond heckling. I've been to comedy shows where they make a joke and they're like, all right, don't be waiting for me outside in the parking lot, because apparently people have done that. So they're going to have to beef up security. Yeah, they're going to have to beef up security because it's probably going to continue.
Like even a lot of comedians are talking about bringing their own security on top of like police security on top of venue security now because of how crazy this is getting. I
wouldn't even trust venue security for the most part. They don't have your best interest. They're there to get a paycheck for the most part.
It's typically old people. Not to have anything against old people, but it's typically like old people with glasses who can't really get there in time.
No, but you got something against people with glasses, I can tell.
Yeah, them Paul Barks. They're not really gonna do much. But I think it's dangerous as an artist because we really don't know what's happening. So now it's like you got to hit on the swivel, trying to make sure nobody gets on stage.
Yeah,
which is crazy. TD Jakes got better security in his church than these venues got.
Right, and he should feel safer.
Yo, I didn't even realize it was security people, so I realized they wasn't really paying attention to the sermon, and they was always like the congregation. I was like, you got an earpiece in. You security.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing. But for all y'all going to comedy shows, don't try this at home.
Right.
It's fun. Y'all can get your ass whooped. I mean, they beat the hell out of that dude too.
I know they broke his arm.
Arm broke, put him in a handcuff with the broken arm, stomped him out.
That's what he deserved. That's what he deserved.
Nah, I mean, if anything, that should be a little deterrence. Like, you're gonna get your ass whooped if you try it.
Yeah.
So you run up on the right one, it's a problem. But you know what I mean? Good luck to the young dude. He's probably in jail getting beat up right now. So most apologies. All right. So
thanks, Will Smith.
Thanks, yeah, for fucking it up for everybody. So let's jump into this one. So Kevin Samuels, if y'all didn't hear, passed away yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
They were saying that, well, it came out first as like speculation. Nobody really knew what was going on. Everybody was just saying he was dead, and it was confirmed by a source. Nobody knows who the source was. But today, Kevin Samuels' mom went on and said that she talked to NBC News and confirmed that he passed away, and said that she didn't know that he passed away until social media started saying it. So that's how she found out.
That's crazy.
She had to start confirming after that, seeing if it was true. But apparently he was dead. They said that he was in his house over in Atlanta. So kind of actually close to where I'm at right now. Basically saying like it was a person that was injured. And then they said when they got there, he was unresponsive and they started doing CPR, but you know, I mean, he was already gone.
Right.
The rumors came out. A lot of people were saying like somebody killed him. Like that circulated. Then there was a female that was there with him. They're trying to figure out if that person is a suspect. They still haven't really released what happened. But you know what I mean? He's gone. So I think the question everyone's having now, because there are the arguments happening back and forth on Instagram, is how can you celebrate someone's death? One. And is his legacy tarnished based off of his commentary and the things he was doing on YouTube?
I mean, his legacy was already what it was going to be. You know what I mean? Just based on the things that he's always said. And whether or not you agree with what the man said, he wasn't out here, at least that I know of, he wasn't out here physically hurting anybody. He wasn't some Hitler type figure. So in a sense like that, I wouldn't celebrate his death. You know what I mean? I don't agree with the things that you said, everything that you said, but at the same time, I would never wish death on him or celebrate it. So I think people taking things a little too far. But
I think for me, it's you know, I wasn't a fan of the dude at all.
Right.
I thought he was probably one of the biggest, most recent jerks to kind of hit social media. In the same breath, social media made him popular. They made him famous. People would say how much they hate his commentary, but then be on his live arguing back and forth with him. So you gave him the platform.
Right.
I think the fucked up part is the last thing that he did was told women if they were 35 and unmarried that they were leftovers.
Yeah.
That was last week.
Yeah.
So, my grandma used to always say, like, when somebody died, God says your work is done. He was like, all right, bro, we good with you. Come on. Like,
right. Like, yeah, you took a little too far right there. Yeah. Like, you can't say anything worse than that.
Nah, you can't go further than that.
Yeah.
I think it's bad though, because I think there's one person whose death I would be very happy about. But even in that situation, I can't say I wouldn't go on social media and cheer about it. But it's like, it's still, that's somebody's child, that's somebody's uncle, brother, sisters, whatever. Like, he still has family that loves him. And I think it's really fucked up that social media decided to like kind of go to social media and blast that. And his mom didn't know. And it goes back to the whole Kobe situation. Like, you start finding shit out from other sources before you find out anything. Right. That's horrible.
That's what the world has come to, man. That's social media for you, and they don't care. Everybody wants to break the story first. They don't care.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even.
They don't care about family at all.
I found out, I was like, I'm not touching that, because I don't know if it's true or if it's not true. Nobody has like a confirmed source, and you know, the internet killed people off in a heartbeat. So they still saying Tyler Perry in the hospital from a car accident. And he's happily in his new crib.
Right.
Like it's horrible. But,
the thing is, usually with because of the way social media is, if they're saying somebody's dead and it's going on for hours and hours and hours, and this person has not hopped on social media and said I'm not dead, chances are you're dead. You know what I mean? It's that simple. You know what I mean? So
it was somebody, I can't remember who it was, like they were on the airplane and somebody said that they were dead while they were on the plane. They got off the plane and like their phone was blowing up.
Yeah.
And they were like, we were making sure that you were alive. Oh, it was after Kobe. I want to say it was Rick Fox.
Rick Fox, yep. It was Rick Fox. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Helicopter. And he was like, I was on the airplane. Like, I don't know nothing about this. He didn't even think it was true.
Yeah.
So condolences to his family. To those celebrating his death, you're a horrible human being.
And if I saw correctly, he's supposed to be on the next episode of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, that the timing of that, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the reservation right now is somebody's going to try to come and beat Kevin Samuels and try to mimic what he did.
Right.
And it's not going to go well for that person.
Right.
So let Kevin Samuels go. It's, he had his moment. It's cool. Don't try to do it.
Right.
It's not going to be cute.
Yeah.
So, much respect to the family. Sorry for your loss. The memes and the jokes are already happening though.
Yeah. they don't wait for that one.
The memes they're happening.
Yeah.
So sorry for your home. All right. Kind of serious, but not too bad. Oh. In the Bub, welcome to the show, fam.
What's up, everybody?
You want to touch on Kevin Samuels or Dave Chappelle before we jump into the next topic?
Chappelle. I just think it was, like I said, it's not unusual that people try to attack comedians. It's just ironic that it happened in a few weeks after that. I don't think it's gonna be a trend because of what happened. He got stomped out, and unless people are going to make that a new thing, because we do live in a society where people make stupid stuff trendy, so there might be a new stage rushing, and then people get beat up, and that'd be the new way for these teenagers. Like, as far as Kevin Samuels, I think he's just his delivery was wrong sometimes, but I thought there was some truth. I can't say that because life is tough and everything's not going to always be handed to you the way you like it. So you're going to like to hear it sometimes. So as a person, you deal with stuff accordingly. You know how somebody's going to give it to you. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And that's just life in general. You're going to have to deal with things sometimes that you don't even find something that you really want to do because of the way it's being delivered, but you have to. And I think that's even sometimes when someone's talking to you, you got to see if the message is more important than the messenger sometimes.
I think his message kind of got lost in his delivery a lot of times. So
I think
there's a way to like kind of tell people what you think. Like when you get to the point you're like calling people like fat bees and you're a hoe. Like it's just
the thing is that I think also part of his whole thing was like, and I think that people not necessarily should have enjoyed, but they did enjoy, was the fact that we're in a Me Too, very type of feminist society right now. So guys had to take a beating sometimes before they even are proven innocent in certain circumstances. Sometimes, you just get accused of things. So though it's not necessarily always right, I think it was as a voice that was voicing what some guys were feeling and wanted to say with all these different things at times. You know what I mean? Like we've had several singers, we'll just say singers that we know who had accusations, and people just beat them up about different things. Like Chris Brown had an incident recently where the girl alleged all that stuff with him, and he wanted to say that, but he had to have so much proof just to show that she was lying. Like, so I think what Kevin's saying was sometimes it was just the voice of frustration for men at times. And that's how it would come out, with frustration. So I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but it can sound like how some people may have felt going through these times, because some dudes do feel beat up at times.
I'm gonna call it wrong.
All right.
I think what he was trying to do could have been constructive. It could have been helpful. It could have been delivered in a way where you aren't seen as the person tearing women down, regardless of, whatever the issue might be.
Let me ask you this real quick. When you say tearing women down, and just to play devil's advocate, do men get tore down? Do black men get tore down a lot publicly? Just answer that part of the question, because we're getting caught up right now saying that women get tore down, but we're acting like black men don't get tore down. And sometimes
black men,
being the right.
Black men do get torn down, but in the same breath, we kind of like throw alley-oops to get torn down as well.
Do we? Or is that because we learn and what we're taught? Because we come two or three.
Some things we alley-oop. I mean, every situation. I'm not gonna say every situation is the same. Like there's a lot of really good dudes that get drugged. Like it's just, I'm sorry, dragged.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what the heck is drugs?
Get drugged.
Yeah, like what?
So, I mean, they will get dragged, and you are being a good dude trying to do the right things. So that absolutely is the truth. I think there's that I don't need nobody feminist movement that started really affects the male and female relationships. I think communication between male and female relationships is, like drained to the point where like it's no one knows how to talk to each other. So it's almost where you're fighting from jump. So I think that's an issue. But I think that when you have a platform, you can do something like that where you can address those things. I think there's a way that you can address it without trashing someone in the process. And I think that just made people, especially guys that already are on that borderline, more emboldened to do the same thing. And I think that's where it got tricky. But I mean, he had 1.4 million followers, or 1.4 million subscribers rather. So he had his audience, male and female. There's a lot of females that were agreeing with him with what he was saying to other females. So you got to acknowledge that as well. There's a lot of men that were disagreeing with him, so you have to acknowledge that. I mean, he had people alike. Yeah. So
and overall, it was entertainment.
That's what it was. But that's the thing. Like if you really got to go on, like that's like for the people that fell in love with Dr. Phil when he first came out, because he was connected to Oprah. Like we get so enamored with people having some type of status instead of if they really like we're giving him too much credit. Now that same dude, what was the other guy's name? The Vice dude used to what was his name? Jackson, the one that we talked about before. Remember when he got caught with the side chick, but he was
yeah.
You know what I mean? That guy. And we just give too much credence to celebrity. Goes back to our other episode about the the social media impact. Like, I mean, you don't really have to listen to him. You can just find I watch it and just kind of laugh or you know what I mean, or say, "Damn, that's fucked up." You know what I mean? Like the entertainment it is. I don't super give him no super notoriety or value. Now there might be a jewel, but that's with any conversation you have with anybody, rich, poor, small, old, young. They're always something you can learn. So that's how you're supposed to take it, not as true life advice and he's telling you something that's nothing you ever heard before. Because in most cases, we choose to ignore the signs. So to go through all that, to get this man that much negativity in his death is kind of corny to me. Yeah, because you still entertaining, like, you know what I mean? Like you entertain too much, yeah.
Like you as me and PJ were saying, like there's not too many people I celebrate their death. I mean, there's one person I'm waiting for, and I'm waiting. But anyway, like I wouldn't be happy somebody that I disagree with don't know. would be like that's kind of corny to me. That's corny. That's a cornball move. So
no doubt.
All right. Let's jump in on this. All right. Not sure if y'all have seen, which I'm sure everyone has seen, the abortion Roe versus Wade case could possibly be overturned. With that being said, there's a lot of speculation of how that might be a gateway to a lot of other things being overturned. So a decision piece was written by Judge Alito, which is one of the senior members of the court, basically saying that it should have never been a law in the first place, and everyone got it wrong, and the federal government shouldn't be involved in the abortion process. That's something that should be regulated by the state, and they should have the power to say what they want done and don't want done in their state. And there shouldn't be a protection legally from the highest court saying that you can't do this, which is a problem. So now everyone's sounding off. There are protests going on all over the place. The Supreme Court is back behind barricades, so they put the gates back up. They can't be scaled. I think they have a march coming up this weekend. And basically now even though he wrote the opinion piece saying how they may rule, from my understanding, just because that's written doesn't mean that that's what the ruling is going to be. And it's not saying that everyone is signed on or signed off, but more than likely 5 people are going to sign on it. I'm sorry, 6 people are looking to sign on it, and then 3 people off. So that said, as men, while we shouldn't have an opinion with what women do, how do y'all feel about this situation? Like, where's your thought process at this week with that?
I think it has the potential to be dangerous if we start taking these rights away. If you this doesn't mean just because someone says that you can no longer have an abortion, or you no longer have the right to get this service done, doesn't mean that your people still want to keep their children or keep the pregnancy, right? So then you may have people trying things and doing things to get rid of their pregnancy or to terminate their pregnancy on their own. You make things a lot more dangerous for them. You know what I mean? Especially people who feel like they have no other choice. Everybody doesn't have the ability to go to another state to get these things done. So I think taking away these rights can cause issues in that sense. But it also looks like this is turning into a Republican versus Democrat thing. That's all it is. It's going to be Republicans are going to vote this way. Democrats are going to be vote this way. If it comes down to where it's now just going to be done at the state level, if you're a blue state, you're going to have this, and if you're a red state, you're going to have that. That's what it turns into. Yeah. It's no longer about what we really feel or what they really feel a woman's rights should really be. It's all a political thing, and it's kind of sick in that way.
I see it as an angle where they're trying to put like responsibility on the person as far as birth control, in a sense. Like, you can be responsible and not have these situations, to take some accountability for overpopulating, in a sense.
Yeah, hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's not. No, but all pregnancies aren't a matter of somebody being irresponsible,
right?
In their
and we
own
know
person.
that. We know that, but the laws are never based on the gray area. They're always based on the black or the white area. You know what I mean? So we always have like.
So
there's
we should
a
make
lot
sure.
Of cases. No. What I'm saying is, you have consensual sex, and I'm just playing pure devil's advocate on this. You can have consensual sex, not get pregnant, not be able to produce. You know what I mean? Then there's people that do it that can be considered milking the system or just trying to do for their own purposes. There's several types of angles that they can do to look at this to say, hey, you know, you hold some responsibility in this. We're not talking about, you know, the rapes, because, you know, there's even speculation about the original Roe versus Wade with her telling lies to even get this pushed forward. So, you know, there are always gray areas, but laws are never based solely on that. That's why it's always, you know, that's why there's always people pro and people against, because it's, you know what I mean, there's both sides. It's never nothing that's an easy medium. So I think it's I'm not telling, I think that they can't tell women what to do, but I think they have a different plot towards just doing that, because it's going to be more beneficial. There's more people.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go with the angle of, all right, now everybody should be a little more responsible, or make sure that there's you're using protection. So then we're gonna have to make sure that we're teaching all rapists and all child molesters that they should be wearing condoms.
No, that's gray area, but that's what I'm saying.
But it's still part of it though. Like,
but I think
whether it's the gray area or not.
Hold up, but
like a lot of the states are
address that in the thing. Like, even though they're supposed to, we heard.
No,
I'm saying that they do, but when most people are speaking, they're not even speaking of some of those instances. A lot of them are just speaking about just a woman having her own choice of how she wants to handle her body. You know what I mean? Like, we have Plan Bs. Like, Megan has a song about it now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we so desensitized to the fact of, like, there's other ways still to not do it as an adult. You know, like we were saying with the male birth control. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
That's where it gets foggy, because they're saying that even to opt into a Plan B pill, that's you saying you're killing off the embryo, even though it's not at the embryo stage yet. So they're saying that could become an issue. And then having the implant to keep you from getting pregnant, they can outlaw that, because that's not considered a natural way of doing things, because who knows if you were pregnant before you got the implant put in. And then if you have a vasectomy and you end up pregnant anyway, or you have your tubes tied, you end up pregnant anyway, you still have to go have that kid now. Unless you have the money to go to a state that allows it, then you can get out of it. And I think that the tricky part about that is, like, you're separating this like state to state. So in Louisiana, you can't do it. In Oklahoma, you can't do it. In Georgia, they're trying to take away the option to do it. But then if you get to North Carolina, you might be cool. If you get to Virginia, you know, if you get a Democratic governor in Pennsylvania, you're good. If you get a California, New York, you're cool. So basically what it's saying is, if you live in Louisiana and you have the resources to get to a blue state to get an abortion, then you're fine. But if you live in Louisiana and you don't have the access to get out of Louisiana to get an abortion, then now you have to have the kid, which basically says, like, all the lower class poor people have to have their kids where they already can't afford their kids. So my thing is, if you're going to say, go have this kid, then you need to increase, like, state funding as far as, like, welfare, housing, daycare, food stamps, that kind of thing, to make sure that these people have.
Okay, but then doesn't that just promote people who like to abuse the system to have more kids to get more money?
And see, that's my whole thing.
But,
like,
but if you don't, then, like, if this person, like, say you're a single parent, 2 kids already, right? Not anywhere in the system whatsoever. You have your job, you're good with 2 kids. You get pregnant. Now you have to have a 3rd kid, which now pushes you into poverty. And it's like, either, which they're saying, like, I think it's like 60% of the women that get abortions are professional women, like professional working women who just can't afford to do it. So it's like those women now have to have this kid that they can't afford. And they were showing that basically the amount of bankruptcies that happen with women who can't have abortions is at like 85% higher than the women who can have the abortion. Even if they're starting at the same point before they go to a clinic, the post financial repercussions of not being able to have one are drastically higher for the person who can't have the abortion than the person that's able to do it. So it's if you're not going to give people the resources to help them take care of this child that you're making them have.
But here's the thing. My thing is, like I said, without the gray area, like what you're saying is, like, yeah, the professional woman, and like you said, because people are impulsive, that's another thing with sex. Like, you know, so yeah, she could already have everything designed and planned, but this was a slip up. there still are like they're not trying to some. And I don't want to get too deep into some of this because it unveils things that you don't necessarily want to say. But I think that there's a lot of angles to it, like and there's legit angles. Some people believe in some of the things that they're standing by when they really say this. I don't think it's all personal gain, but I think there's a lot of personal gain in the same thing because these same people that we leaving up to chance with this situation are already there with an ulterior motive. You know what I mean? So my thing is that there's some people that could be genuine with it, some people that won't be. I've been saying I'm more on the side of make sure you protect how you have make sure you watch how you have as many kids. Just birth control. It's in a birth control sense. Like, that's my thing. Like, China has population control. You know what I mean? Like, you're responsible for if you have more, there's other things. So I think that's kind of a way they're taking it with it.
I think it's dangerous.
I guarantee you.
Handmaid's Tale shit.
I guarantee you a lot of those men that are part of making these laws are married. And I guarantee you a lot of them are cheating or have cheated and gotten someone pregnant and had abortions.
Absolutely.
And probably will still do it in the future.
Absolutely.
But we'll still shoot the law down.
They can afford it.
Right.
They can afford to fly somebody out to a different state.
Right.
That's the crazy. It's like it's a matter of it's the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots are going to have a bunch of kids now that they may not want. And the sad part is you're going to have a lot of people who, if you can't get the access to get somewhere and have an abortion safely, then you're going to do something that's going to allow you to have an abortion unsafely. And then you got a for color girl situation. You go into somebody's apartment with a hanger.
Right.
It's dangerous. And I think even the fact that the Supreme Court justices that were put in place by the last president all went into Congress into their hearings, into their confirmations, basically saying, we're not touching that. Like, it's a staple in the Constitution. There's no reason to address it. There's nothing wrong with it. We should leave it alone. And then the moment all three of them are in and is brought to the Supreme Court, they dive on it. Because it's been brought to the Supreme Court before and they wouldn't touch it. They were like, we're not getting into that. And they rejected the case. So now it's like, as soon as it got there, they accepted it and wanted to have the hearings on it. So it's definitely a plan in how they set it up. They were like, Republicans have been working this out for decades to get it overturned. And I think that's where you see Republicans play a longer game in politics and Democrats play the short game. Like, they play this election, this administration, this moment, and Republicans are like, we can wait 15 years to make this happen.
Yeah.
And they chip away at it slowly. And then when the shit happens, it's like, now you're upset.
Yeah.
But Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if y'all saw The Colony. It's a TV show.
Nah.
So a lot of that shit's happening in real life right now. All right. Read these comments. So Mo said it's a slippery slope. They'll start going after any form of birth control. They actually proposed a bill targeting IUDs in Louisiana. Yes. Sometimes abortions are a matter of safety, like in the case of a ectopic pregnancy. Well, I don't know what that is, Mo. Tell me what that is.
I think that's one of the ones. Tubes.
What happened?
When it's stuck in your fallopian tube.
When it's stuck in your fallopian tube, so it's not going to actually make it to your womb.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's fucked up.
Spoken like two dads on PJ. We're like, like as you can see, the guy that lives in the Chinese shop back there, like that shit like Rush Hour 2's background. Like he's shooting the sequel Rush Hour 4.5. Like, he with the dog, he wouldn't know that. Like, yeah, once you have kids
from the breeder.
Once you have kids, you hear about all that different type of stuff. Like, when that's part of the reason they had those checkups to make sure that the baby's safe and in the same area, right, PJ?
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm glad that's over. like shit, they don't gotta worry about me. Like,
So,
oh man, like
all right, Bo said some of it's about keeping people poor. The men making the laws will make sure their daughters and mistresses can have safe abortions. And also the people trying to overturn it aren't rushing to adopt kids either. That's the fucked up part. So now it's like you have the adoption situation is already hell. Like social services is bad. And now you're about to have an influx of kids going to social services if this again, if it passes, because it's not necessarily saying that it's still going to, because there's a lot of heat on the Supreme Court now that they haven't signed on to it. And
that is
everyone
public. Now that those leaks, that's going to be the new scandal right now anyway. Like,
yeah. But whoever
again,
did it, like,
oh yeah, they wanted it.
They gonna be good. Like you might go to jail, but you're like the hero of the United States right now.
It's just crazy that we live in a society now. Like everything has to be leaked. Like you know what I mean? Like we believe in we're a complete country of contradiction. We believe in freedoms and we understand our government, but yet we believe in conspiracies and go for instant gratification that doesn't even sound like anything. So,
but I think
welcome to America.
Like what's crazy is the people that are voting down are trying to pretty much get rid of this law. Like say Republicans basically are trying to get rid of Roe versus Wade and say that you can't do this thing. Are the same ones that were fighting vaccines and saying, well, you can't make us do anything with our medical lives. And these are the same people who are proponents of the death penalty. So you can kill someone who's alive and walking, breathing person in society, but you can't kill or you can't have an abortion with a baby that is going to go into a circumstance that probably wouldn't be safe for them. So it's a lot. And then they were talking about like different laws that can be overturned afterwards, because now you set a precedent that, you know, basically 49 years isn't cemented enough in American culture to where it makes an effect. So they were saying like same-sex marriages are probably going to be under attack. Interracial marriages are probably going to be under attack. A lot of the segregation tactics in the South are probably going to go back into effect and have bite challenges on it. It's just, it opens up a floodgate of shit that they can now say, well, you overturned this one, so let's see what happens. Shit's dangerous.
Yeah.
Very much so.
All right, so get off of that, and now we can get into some heavy lifting since we all actually made it out the fallopian tubes.
It's a hell of a transition.
It's Mother's Day weekend, so you know we always end up shouting out, you know, our parents, things like that. But now Mother's Day period, like, you know what I mean, with some stuff that you look back on now and be like, you know what I mean, my mom was dope. Not even just moms, because we have like moms, we have grandmoms, aunts, great aunts, cousins, all that kind of stuff that play roles in our lives. So what's some of the stuff that y'all learn from the women in your lives?
Go ahead, bud.
PJ. Oh, you want me to go? All right. The women like hello, can y'all hear me? Because it started making a sound for a second.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. Yeah, like my mom gave birth to me, but women who really influenced me was my Aunt Barbara, my cousin Caroline. They were very instrumental to just giving me a lot of love with structure, but providing the kind of love and structure for me that was needed with the void of not having my mom around. Same irony, though, is that they are related to me by my mom. So it also showed that love can supersede blood, you know, and relationships in certain cases, because like I said, that was in my aunt's case, that was her sister, and my cousin, it was her aunt, but they loved us to make sure that we ended up in a great space. So, you know, I definitely love and value them more, and just try to always consider that it's not about me, thanks to those two specifically. Because without them, I wouldn't have any true rationale at times. So
if you look at me and how great I am as a person,
oh,
it's
first of all, you're not a reflection of your mom. She's one of the nicest people I ever met in my life. So when you, like the sad thing is that setup was so dope for her because she's a great person. But you with your own grandstand before how great of a person you are, just
nah, it had to rub off on me, man. Had to. No, but I feel like my mom being the day-to-day go-to person, you know what I mean, whether it was get me here or get me what I needed or get me what I want. And it's not just about giving, you know what I mean, but it's still
Right.
that ability to be that provider for whether it was you know, financially or things that I wanted, or if it's guidance and things like that. You know what I mean? I think that's the most important thing that a mom can bring. My mom comes from her mom, who was pretty much the head of the whole entire family, and you know, she pretty much modeled after her. You know what I mean? My grandmom, just as small as my mom, if not smaller, but wasn't nobody gonna mess with her. You know what I mean? Like whatever she said, that was the word. You know what I mean? Like my mom could threaten me and say, all right, I'm gonna tell your grandma. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna come clean, whatever it was I was doing. All right, mom, you got me. I was lying. Don't call her. But you know, that same fear that my grandma was able to put in everybody, you know, it was still the same thing that my mom took away from her. You know what I mean? And that she was able to instill in us as well. So positive influence, you know what I mean? That's the greatest thing that a mom can be. And y'all know my mom's dope.
Your mom is the positive influence. Like
I still want to see. Yeah, I would ask her like, "Hey, are you sure he's your kid?" Like, you know.
I don't think that's it.
His mom is so nice though. She'll just laugh and be like, "Oh no, that's my baby." Like she won't, like you be like, "Man," like, and it's not even exaggeration. That's really her. Like, you know,
Yo,
like, all right. Like,
don't get it twisted though. My mom's nice, but you mess with her kids, man. That's when you see some fire come out.
See, it's always about him. Like he keeps drawing it back to him. Like
you don't like it.
that's what most moms like. Everybody that we discuss, right? Like, you know, like my aunt and my cousin. Like I said, like there's people this day that just call us their babies. You know, and like my cousin Caroline refers to me as her cousin's son. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's like, but like she's not. It's funnier now that I'm older. Like she's not that much older than me. She's older than me, but not. So she was like a mom, but yet still like a big sister in the same way too. Because it was like she needed to square me up. Like when I was smelling myself a little bit, like, oh yeah, these hands still work too. Like don't get it messed up. I'm only in my 20s, but you know when you're a 12-year-old, you're like what? Like you old? Like you know what I mean? So I just value everything about them, and like you know, even when my aunt Barb's gone, that was you know one of the hardest things in my life. You know, and then like my cousin Caroline, like the bond I have with them is just so like it's unexplainable, and like it just I just really value everything about what they really provided to me, just to be like you go be all right, and I appreciate them and love them for it.
Yeah. But, you know, I grew up in a house of crazy women. That's the nicest way to say it. Like my aunts and grandmom and mom, like they're very strong women. I think they would be the ones Kevin Samuel would try, and they would probably find out where he lives and get the crib. Like legit. But I think it's weird in a way, because when they say like, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, like I was literally raised by a village. So it wasn't just my immediate family. It was like the women that were a part of my mom's life took on aspects of helping to raise me. And, you know what I mean? Bub's aunt and cuz mom, like, was always there as well. So there's times where they would be cooking out and his aunt would like be like, come over here and get something to eat, because I'll just be on the back porch. And that was just the norm. And I thought that that's like how everybody had that dynamic, but that's not the case. it's the matter of, I think, just like the women in general that play these major roles in kids' lives, and then we gravitate towards them because that becomes who we can have those kind of conversations with and like talk through stuff with and get advice from, and still get put back in place, but it doesn't come with the, I guess, aggression that the men in the lives might have, because they're again a little more stern, to what Bub was saying about Kevin Samuels. Sometimes you just gotta, F the messenger and take this message. And that's just kind of like how that works. So personally, I appreciate like the women that helped raise me, because I think they made me a little more solid. But they crazy. Like I got some crazy folks in my family and extensions of the family. So I think I learned the most is like,
did he freeze her?
Yeah, he shouldn't have called him crazy. They after him now.
Yo, they say you just go basketball in a Mom's Day special.
Like we're gonna take that internet out.
Right. Yeah, man. It's
my internet didn't travel with me.
Yeah, we see. Nah, that was the mom guy saying, "Nah, you ain't gonna do that." Just they say, "Oh, you will call him crazy. You wait till next week," and they put you on pause, yo. So you smooth. And that was and for real, because we know if it was your real mom, she'd have came and just put you in the headlock on camera real quick. She felt some way, so.
Look, ain't nowhere near her looking over my shoulder. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
My mom throws. She throws bows. Like my mom has knocked out plenty of family members and non-family members. Like that's Ali Umaye.
It's just dope that we like, because they always say that black men tend not to give black women their credit, but we really know, and and it's ironic that they try to say that sometimes, but a lot of these boys are crazy about their mom. You know what I mean? So it's like, and like the high reference that a lot of boys speak about their mom, it shows that they love women. It's just that they may be going through something else that they're not necessarily able to truly get out. And I think that's where we got to stop running with these narratives sometimes of like that black men aren't loving black women or different things like that. They may just have something that they can't figure out, but they love their mom and they'll love their sisters like no other, and they're protective of them. So you can't say that they don't. That's where they come from. That's, one of their best friends. So we got to stop with some of these narratives too, to make it seem like we ain't 4Rs when we do, because we love what we're from. And even though we went through, you see these guys, that's the first thing they want to do when they get there. I want to make my mom proud. We just got to stop and make sure that we start looking at what we are saying, because we're bringing power to words that ain't sometimes true. Because a lot of it, like I said, a lot of us come from like that. You know what I mean? Where there were some good women that loved them, like, you know what I mean, and did what and the boys speak so highly of them that they don't know how to separate sometimes, as a matter of fact. So that's a whole nother subject. So, we definitely do love women, and we definitely appreciate them. That's why we don't think there's gender roles like there was, right? Because look, if you can do it, I can do it too. Like PJ said, you can take the trash out.
We're just gonna sit here and let the house stink. Take your pick.
Right. So,
because I mean, if you think about it, like most athletes, for instance, like their moms are their biggest cheerleaders. I think moms have the tendency to sacrifice the most for their kids in most situations, or the women in lives have the tendency to sacrifice the most. That's why that mama bear thing is no joke. Like, you don't mess with a bear's cub like a mom bear. Dad might let you go. You want to see what you're going to do. But that mom is like, it's a different story. So like it's that extra layer of protection. To a degree, my baby can't do no wrong, but in the same breath, it's like, you was wrong. So it's like, publicly, I ain't gonna say nothing to you about it, but in private, you might get, the ass whooping of a lifetime. But I don't know. It just is. I think it's different, and I think that moms typically get that love from their kids. And again, I'm not gonna call anybody a bad mom, but
There's bad moms. If
I
they can say
don't,
there's bad dads, there's bad moms. But we're not gonna
I
do
don't
it
say
on
it.
the show. But
But yeah, I mean, there's some that they fight through it, and in the same breath, it's like a child always, for the most part, still wants that relationship and will put themselves in harm's way to try to facilitate that relationship. So it's even though you might suck as a parent, it's like you continue trying because you want that to be there. And then if it doesn't come from that person, the next person that's the mother figure gets that level of respect, and that becomes like that's like my mom. And that level of
right,
respect for that person becomes that much stronger because they don't have to be there. And the fact that they came in and set that standard as being that figure, the level of respect for them and appreciation and love for that person becomes extremely strong.
no doubt, no doubt. I want to pivot to just making sure I also shout out my lady because she's a dope mom to my kids. Like, I just think it's remarkable because you give birth, you watch these people come out as little slimy little loaves of bread, and then you watch them develop into people who have attitudes that you pay their bills and feed them and put clothes on them. And like you said, she handles it with. I'm actually the disciplinarian parent, which is kind of hard to believe because she's so nice. I'm like, no, like, like you don't even, So she's remarkable at making sure my kids are taken care of. And her mom, I had to shout her out as well, just because she was above and beyond grandma for them, And I just think that's dope when your daughter can see hardworking women and have a reflection. Shout out my sister too on there with her education, auntie. But like as far as mother directly and grandmother, I couldn't ask for anything better for my kids. They're really dope. So
I want to.
yeah, follow that up.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you
this is
Yeah,
can.
easy. This is easy.
yeah.
This
You
is easy,
better.
bub. This is easy,
Oh,
bub, because you ain't saying nothing, man. You ain't even
oh,
say anything
that's
yet.
right. I forgot
You
you're
ain't
an
even started talking
artist.
yet.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No,
Make it. I
this is
forgot you.
I
You
want
play
to
love songs on Mother's Day.
no. I want to shift my focus to my kids. This is to you if you're watching. And because I don't think kids often realize how good of a mom they may have. It's not always evident to them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes your parents have to make tough decisions, and to you, especially when they're teenagers, you're thinking, "Oh, you're just trying to cramp my style or whatever it is." To my two boys, y'all got a dope mom. If everything was up to me, if it was just me and you guys, right? No, seriously, seriously. If it was just us, your life would be a lot different. You know what I mean? You have your mom. I can't even. I'm trying to think how I want to put this in words.
I don't know. That's better than mine, PJ. Oh,
No,
they already know you
listen.
mean. Like you don't gotta sit there
No, it's
tell
not. No,
everybody
it's
that you
not.
mean to them.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not about me being mean. It's about a mom, my wife, being able to provide things that I can't provide, or that I in a different way. You know what I mean? I'm a tough love guy. You know what I mean? I'm a kind of you figure it out,
You?
you do it. Yeah.
Nah, not you, PJ. Nah, I don't believe that.
and and I think sometimes, like I said, kids don't always understand or see what it is that their parents are able or their parents are giving them and what they're doing. But shout out to my wife for being a dope mom. I wouldn't just say it just to say it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have kids with any person. You know what I mean? That seriously, that's something that you have to be selective about. And I'm glad that I chose the person that I chose to have my children with. So shout out to you.
Drink some water. It's okay.
I don't even know if that was better than mine because we up here big chesting for what I mean, like brag supremacy for the moment. But it like to your point, that is a thing. Like I don't think your kids do know. Like my kids, I think they know that their mom, they can get away more with their mom with
Mhm.
stuff, but I don't think they really understand like yo, she's really your advocate. Like, you know,
Right.
to your point, like,
that's the
like,
perfect word for it. She is your advocate. She is the person that will go to bat for you. I might let you sit out there and flail around for a little bit. You know what I mean? But she's going to be the one that's going to go to bat for you every single time.
all the
I
time.
mean, yeah.
Mine is the one that lets them, like, if I'm coming in the door, I can hear the feet running because she let them do something a little longer than what they were supposed to. You know, like that. And it's like,
your feet running.
yeah, I hear the feet running. I always say to them, I say, yo, you're just like your mom. You're the worst criminals ever. Like, y'all should just quit. Like, y'all should do a better team. Like, somebody should be looking out so I won't hear you, you know. But that's a dope thing, PJ. Like you said, it's definitely, like you said, being in a 2-parent household for me personally, the first time, that's the key thing that I noticed as far as just being in a relationship, being able to understand like the dynamic it plays in bettering my kids. Like, because there's sometimes, like you said, PJ, you want to do the tough love thing, but she's there to be like, nah. And then sometimes you'll sit back and be like, I guess she's right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, you know, you just think like, man, she's right. And you don't just give in because it's her, but you give in because, yeah, this might be the road they need to take and handle it this way this time, because I can over tough love it, you know. And like you said, if you get too much of a thing, like, so shout out to the moms who definitely make sure that dad don't over tough love the kids.
if y'all know Bub, him having to say somebody else is right is a situation. It's going to be a man. I mean, you was right and shit, but that ain't the point.
That ain't true. You just got to make sure. You just need 3 facts, just like anything. You know what I mean, in order to make sure that things, concrete facts that I can't believe that you can't prove me wrong with. I mean, that you can prove me wrong with, and we'll go from there. But yeah, man, like don't do me like that. Because
to the mother of my child, you know,
what?
It was a great day in May when I was able to pick them up. You couldn't have had a better litter of,
oh my gosh,
pups. So I appreciate, you know, your contribution.
PJ, he don't even know real diapers. He don't understand.
Nah, it wasn't diapers though. It was wee-wee pads. So I mean, it's a different concept, same premise.
Yo,
like,
does your dog even know his mom?
He's gonna call your dog.
I hate to take this off, I hate to take this away from like the Mother's Day situation. I feel like I stole, like, I kidnapped this kid. Because it's like I kind of like, it's almost like slavery. Like, you have this kid and I just come and take it and just walk away with it.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah.
So you having remorse. So why don't you take Mother's Day and take a drive down the country like on a movie, and when the sun's rising up, and just show him where his mom was. Like, this was very like you just feel like you kidnapped him. Like, what?
But you know, it's like, you know what I mean? You have like dogs have like a litter of what, like 8, 9 puppies. And then like that's their surroundings for like the first 8 weeks of their lives, or so you go and pick the kid up or pick the puppy up. So like I got him at 9 weeks. So 9 weeks of your life was just around the other dogs and your mom. And then this random day, I come in, like, snatch you up, put you in the car, and drive you the fuck away. Like, it's almost, it's a horrible concept, but you know
or a Disney movie. Like, that sounded like such a Disney movie. Like, he snatched you up from a litter, you don't know your mom, and ain't that the whole premise of Finding Dory? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry, I got little kids, man, so it is what it is. Like, that's another thing. Moms will get you through those things, because when you don't want to do some things, right, PJ? Like, she'll talk you, come on. There's so many movies I didn't want to go to, or come on. I mean, some.
You ain't got a Finding Dory shirt after it was over.
I definitely. We both definitely agonized through Disney on Ice. You can say that. That was.
Yo, I absolutely hate Disney on Ice.
Thank you.
Yo, I did it one time. I was like, never again. Hated it.
Worse, right?
Hated it.
I watched it when I was at Hershey Park. I snuck into the ice arena and watched the show.
You must have watched it young, because you don't have enough disdain for it like me and PJ, because there's nothing worse than it. Like,
I was eating my sandwich in the Bounty area, like, watching. I was like, this is stupid.
I got talked into it recently, just like, oh, and then I kind of found enjoyment because she wasn't enjoying it either. So I was like, oh, okay. So you got us here. So we both, huh?
We know you know the songs.
Yeah, I'm a fun parent for real. I just hate the fact because she's so apt. She's so much of the cool mom that I have to be a strict dad a little bit. Like that's it. Like,
All right, so you know what I mean. Eddie's not here, so we're gonna go into what gifts not to get. You know what I mean. The
Edible arrangements.
is that what it is? so I mean that would be. Is there a rule for edible arrangements for your mom? Like, hey, yo, mom,
you
like,
can
yo,
get your
mom,
mom.
here, yo, mom, Dad told me to get you this fruit. Like, what? like what? Do you get your mom chocolate covered fruit for Mother's Day?
I would not get my mom edible arrangements.
like PJ, like they might not work this time, PJ. Like, I mean, your wife, yeah, but for the kids' mom, but do you want the kids know? Like, my dad bought my mom some fruits and some chocolate covered fruit, like, you know, because the joke is a running joke all over. Everybody knows the joke. So.
Don't even splurge for the chocolate. Just fruit.
It's just the regular pineapple stars.
Yep.
Yo, so I think the worst thing to get a mom for Mother's Day is a gift certificate to a restaurant. I think that's like the $25 gift certificate to Outback. That's bad.
Well, that's because she got to contribute money to it. Because what the hell, she go buy Outback for $25? You got her cocktail and a sampler. Like,
all right, what if it was $100 though? Is that all right?
To a favorite restaurant?
Yeah. And you can put a stipulation, say that this is only to be used with you and your friends or whoever you choose to go out with, other moms or something.
Is there something else?
Huh?
Does it come with something else?
I mean, I don't know. That's
Here's my thing.
But I'm just saying that. Are you just against the gift card itself?
Nope. Nah. You know why Shy don't get it? Because he ain't a parent. You know what I mean? The agony of having to cook sometimes for people and just take it. I think gift cards are dope. I think.
I eat out probably like 5-6 times a week.
Because you are a single man with a pet dog son. You know what I mean? That don't count. You don't have any true stress. Like you said, you talking about pee pads. And you hear how people complain about diapers? You talking about pee pads. Like, yeah, there's some days. That's right. Because you can eat out all the time. When it's different. I had to go through?
Y'all understand my struggle, yo. You come home, there's just shit in the living room. Like, that's a different world. I'd rather change a diaper.
So are you just against gift cards, or is it just to restaurants?
It's not like a gift card. Exactly. I know it.
I think gift cards just don't take any kind of thought. It's just, here you go.
Yeah, but what if it's like a gift card, especially for Mother's Day, a gift card to get like a massage or something like that, or get something to pamper herself. Yeah, spa days or nails done, whatever it is. Huh?
It's paid for massage. I mean, because you wrap up a gift card, like that's whack.
It's not about wrapping it up. It's like, okay, so what's a gift? What kind of gift then are you looking for? Then?
What kind of gift?
Yeah, like what kind of gift?
So yeah. So what is it about? You think? All right. So I hate when people say it's not thoughtful, because I got you a gift card to a place most of the time that you like, and I'm just making sure that you don't have to spend your own money the next time you go. That's usually like the sentiment when you do that. Like, I'm gonna get you this gift card.
That's if that's the sentiment. Like if your favorite restaurant is McCormick and Schmidt, right? And you say, here's $100 McCormick and Schmidt gift card, because I know you love going there. So I'm covering your next 2 meals, maybe 3 at McCormick and Schmidt. That could be thoughtful, right? But what else is there? Like I think maybe it's me. My mom will be like, this is cute. That's nice.
So is there a certain amount of gifts you're supposed to get, like, for them? Like
I think
is this why people kind of go against it sometimes? Because they think like you obligated to get a card and like at least 2 to 3 gifts. Because like according to Shad, PJ, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Because I think easy cop outs, right? Like easy cop outs is 2022. If you're still getting like the Bath and Body Works basket from like 99, if you're doing that, edible arrangements, gift cards, and the balloon with the bear inside of it, like, that didn't take much. You can literally buy that at the gas station beside that. like all of it at the same
Shit,
time.
y'all just out here taking shots. But my thing is, but what
I'm
about
just saying, you can get all that at the same location.
But what about that's something that person likes? Like, there's a person that might like teddy bear, or just like the fact that they receive an acknowledgement. Because remember, like when Eddie was saying, like y'all were saying last week, like some people just like acknowledgement because they're not overly into it, but they just like to be acknowledged for that day.
I think if you get a classic, I bought this on Saturday for Sunday gift, like, shut up, Mo. Sometimes you can only afford the bear and the balloon.
Right.
Nah, you can go make dinner for your mom. Like, I mean, there's other options.
What about if you have your mom and your wife, but your dad wants his wife on his Mother's Day too? You know, like he want to show mom a good time. So
I don't know. I'm more of a. I try to put some thought into what I want to get. I pay attention to like what I hear my mom talking about for a while.
So you treat it like Christmas.
Yeah, I mean it's a day to celebrate one person. Everybody else can get random stuff, like, but one person you're able to get like something I know you really want, and I don't think that's a $50 Olive Garden gift certificate.
hold up, real quick. We know PJ is a holiday Grinch for every holiday. And I just thought about it, Shaw. He letting us talk about quality, but we know he don't like Valentine's Day. What was the other holiday that you didn't like, PJ?
It's not that I don't like the holidays, but like it's kind of once it becomes commercialized, I think it loses its value.
It's been commercialized our whole life.
Right. Yeah, but I was just reading about this before we got on. The lady that started Mother's Day, it was just an acknowledgement for her dead mother. And it was about they would wear the roses or whatever, right? And that's all it was, an acknowledgement. A couple of years later, I think it was Woodrow Wilson who made it as a actual holiday. Okay. And then from there, it became commercialized. And this lady spent the last years of her life trying to get rid of Mother's Day because of that. Because it lost its purpose. It turned into holiday sales and commercials on TV.
Wilson gave her a gift certificate to a restaurant.
Nah, it had nothing to do with that. Like it was because it wasn't about the gifts; it was about the acknowledgement. You know what I mean? Like think about it back. If you're talking about acknowledgement, what we did tonight, that would have been enough. That's acknowledging the people, the women, the mothers.
Wrong with that? Let me know how that worked out for you.
All right, yeah, I'm just going to play this. I'm just going to play this to my mom and then be like.
That's it.
Well, you're again, like you said, your mom's gonna take that. I don't know about your wife. She might be sitting there like she might be on the Shad voice and be like, "That was cute." And what he said, ain't that what he just said? Like, so she definitely don't want just to acknowledge. She said, "You tell me that all the time." Like, she know that. Look, and the boys know that too. So you gonna repeat that to them? Like, you just gonna make it public? That's all you did was just make your conversation public.
Now you got to outdo your kids with Mother's Day gifts. Because your kids got a better gift than you do. Surprise.
No, so this is all right. So Mother's Day, right?
Mama.
Do I have to get my mother and the mother of my children a gift, or just my mom?
Both.
All right. No. Here's the trick. Nah, you said the wrong thing. Do your kids got income to finance their mom's gift?
Yeah, we know they do.
They got money. They got their own money. And that
right.
Might not be yeah.
So are you obligated to help contribute if they ask you? Is the question.
Nah, if I have to contribute, that means they
it's not their gift.
They doing something outside their budget. Like you might need to lower your budget a little bit.
So you gonna be like that? You gonna put the kids on a budget to show? Like, I know my mom. To Shad's point, I know my mom really likes this, but Dad, I only got this. Can you do this? You're like, oh no, you got to figure out something cheaper for your mom.
That's all you got, cuz.
That's all you got. You go really. That explains that conversation. That explains that percentage, PJ. Like, so do you really think though, like as a dad, father, do you have to buy a gift? Do you just do it collectively? Like it's one from you and the boys, or do you provide one for her from you and then one from help the boys or whatever? Because my kids are young, so it's. I think you know what I mean. Like
I mean, if you're gonna do it, like, I guess when you're young. I remember when I was young, going out with my dad and buying like Mother's Day. I think pretty sure it was Mother's Day or Christmas, either whatever, all holidays. You know what I mean? It would be, we would go out and of course he would pay for it, but it would be from us. You know what I mean? So of course when you're younger, it's that way. But I think once your kids get a certain age, man, that's on them.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you give him a pep talk before him? Say, yo, don't forget mom's Mother's Day.
You shouldn't have to. I should not have to at this stage in life. I should not.
If he forget that it's Mother's Day weekend, you're just gonna let him sink.
Yep.
Like damn.
See, the backstory to PJ being so pro Mother's Day is funny because PJ was the friend who said that when we weren't parents, he said that we should actually have a kids' day due to, I don't know if you remember this, PJ. You said the parents should give us a gift too because we wouldn't be parents.
They wouldn't be parents, right? Exactly.
Right. So to hear the irony of him saying that, it's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But when he said this, he was in his mid-20s. That's why it's funny. Like, so it's not that far off from when you had the boys. Like, you're right. So now that you would have to finance, and you want to make sure that it's all on them, right? That's deep.
So what's a bad gift?
A vacuum cleaner.
You said what's a bad gift?
Yeah, vacuum cleaner, pots and pans.
I don't know. It's a bad gift for a Mother's Day thing outside not getting them nothing.
Oh, she trying to play me, man.
Thank you, Fee. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day too, sis. Keep up the great work. I know it was hard being PJ's big sister, but you survived, and that's why you got all those beautiful kids. Because God bless you to make sure you got rid of that PJ. Like, no doubt. Oh man, but yeah, man, it's just tough. Like to really know that your kids, like PJ's point, really hit home with me. Just the fact that they don't know how dope their moms really go out of their way to make sure that everything's situated for them, where we wouldn't even give a fuck at the time. Like certain things, like the tears or just even the notion, like they make sure that you have so much extra sometimes, and they're willing to get a little, not, you know what I mean, just have a little rebuff to us, and it'd be a little tension between us because of that. So that's definitely a definite dope trait of a great mom. Like just to make sure that you just feel protected, and that's what they do, and allow you to just not always have the tough love, because tough love can be irritating. Like so.
Mo said, "Don't toss out the household goods." She said, "Good pots and pans would make me very happy." Le Creuset set would be dope. I don't know what Le Creuset set is.
Oh, that expensive. That's man, this stuff's expensive.
Not buying that. All you're doing is cooking in it. That's not happening.
But PJ got out the question: do you get gifts, PJ? Because you threw it on the boys, but you threw them under the rug. Do you buy gifts?
Not generally, no.
See, you play songs, right? You just wake up Mother's Day and play a song for Mama on your sax, like, and then that's a film. Like, yo, that song's pretty dope though. Like, like you don't know how to play this, PJ?
Nah,
you lying. I know you do.
I think you're lying, man. I think you can figure it out very easily.
I know you do. Because if I could play an instrument, real dope from scratch, like with everything, I would just do that all the time too. Like you did it at your wedding, like you just pull it out. Like people, what y'all don't know is we all went to a club one time, and in order for us to get in, PJ just kind of played this song, and the dude let me because he thought he was famous. Now y'all believe that? Like that's what really happened. Like. he put out his sax. He played the saxophone. Don't get it.
I pulled it out from where?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like some cartoon TV shit. Like you just pulled it from out of nowhere behind your back. Start playing. He had that Kenny G sax. I was like, man, like clarinet is like a saxophone. So right. So you really don't like. I try not to go too hard. Like I think like when you have stuff like, but when you have like a home at a certain point. Only things you can really do for like a woman is like you say, get her a like nice spa thing or something. Just acknowledges whatever she's feeling at that time. Give her that acknowledgement, that type of gift of, oh, you've been working extra hard. Here's the spa thing. I think you can't ever fail with flowers. Flowers are always like, and I mean just vegetation period. Like you get them plants, because some women, like older women, like plants. You get flowers. Look at PJ. He's like, man, I don't know what the hell they talking about. Like,
never do what is it? A white flower you're not supposed to buy on Mother's Day?
Why?
Because like white roses represent death.
Yeah,
Like,
white.
if your
That's
parents
what
passed
I was
away.
saying originally. It was the white flowers that the lady was using to remember her mom who passed. I think they were
Yeah.
using like pink flowers for mothers that are still here or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So we good?
Yeah, candy's dumb too. Don't get nobody no candy for Mother's Day. Like that's dumb.
Sour Patch Kids. So
Y'all know what time it is. It's Bubble Bath Books time. Clarity. Bubble Bath Books time. We getting soapy. Bubble Bath Books. Bubble Bath. Bubble Bath Books. Yeah.
song brings me happiness every time I play it. So
Yeah, yo, that's deep, man. Like,
all right. So closing out, I can't even think of those right now because that's so hard. Appreciate your parents, appreciate your moms if they're in your life. If they're not, the women that are in your life, appreciate them. Show them a little bit of love this weekend. It's a big deal because you could have been on that Roe versus Wade train and not made it here. So it's always important to make sure that you appreciate your life and being able to be present because your parents had a choice and they made a choice to let you live. So it's a big deal. Value that. Don't run up on stage at a comedy show, you're gonna get your ass whooped. It ain't cute. If Dave Chappelle got his bodyguards, you about to lose that fight. Then I guess the last thing, focus on your message and how you deliver your message. Again,
your legacy may depend on it, right?
Your legacy may depend on it. Kevin Samuels, he's going to be remembered as the guy that put a divide in between the male and female genders based off of his commentary. A lot of people are going to hate him. A lot of people are going to love him. But when anyone celebrates your death in a great way and are happy that you're gone, that's not a good sign. So try not to be that person. That's all I got. Y'all got something else?
No, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, ladies. You deserve it.
All right, peace.
Yeah.